Okay, this is a video that shows how to do the back stitch for embroidery, or if you like to sew by hand, and I like to sew by hand. You'll see that I am going to I'm going to show you how to thread your needle. I'm using embroidery floss, but you're fine to use regular thread. You can also use Gutermann thread, the stuff that's used on sewing machines a lot. Any kind of thread will do. This is how I do it. I like to double my thread, so you can see that I have 2 strands of thread here when I sew. So there's my needle with doubled thread, and then I knot it at the end. Okay. I can clip off any extra thread there. There's my knot. Okay, now I have one that's already threaded. It's ready to stitch. This one has even more embroidery floss, but if I were just going to sew doll clothes like I often do for my videos, I would just use regular thread, and I'd use about that much of it, not very much. But so that you can really see the stitch, I've added extra threads, and I'm using embroidery floss. So first, you're just going to, and I'm going to do this really large so you can see it, but you just do a regular stitch like you would if you were just sewing in and out, in and out. But for a back stitch, you come back to where you were, and about 3/4 of the way back is what I like to do. I go ahead and insert again. And then you come back again. Now this is doubled embroidery floss, so it's kind of loopy. There we go. So it looks kind of like that on this side, but it looks very straight like that on the other side. So again, in, out, and notice I'm coming back to where I was. That's the back stitch. Back to where you used to be. In and out, back to where you used to be. Okay, so one side looks like so, and the other side looks like this, and it makes for a very sturdy stitch. Now if I was just sewing my doll clothes, I'd keep the stitches very tiny. Smaller stitches are going to hold together just as well, if not better, but I find that the back stitch is an especially sturdy stitch when hand sewing.